Hey, I'm Allison, and this is Realistically Consistent, where we talk about how to build sustainable fitness, nutrition, and mindset habits that actually last even as a busy mom. I'm here to help get you consistent, not perfect, and on your way to feeling like your best self. I'm so excited to start today's episode with you. Let's dive in. Hello, and welcome to episode 1 of Realistically Consistent. I am so excited to be kicking things off with just sharing everything about me, everything about this mission, why I'm starting this podcast, and what we're going to be diving into over the course of the show. And I am just so grateful that you are taking time out of your day to listen and tune in to me. So today's episode, I think it's going to be really powerful because not only am I going to be kind of sharing the tip of the iceberg that allowed me to lose 30 plus pounds between all of my pregnancies within about a year of having my baby, I really want to share my experience just in general over the last 7 years and how that has led me to where we are today and my ability to be able to help hundreds of women over the course of all of the different things that I have offered, and why I'm just so inspired to bring this show to you so that I can hopefully reach more moms and help create that impact to try and get moms out of survival mode, because that is exactly where I found myself about 5 years ago, and it was miserable. And I was fortunate enough to not only find my way out of survival mode, but help pull many other mothers out of survival mode along my journey as well. So, with that, I want to dive in a little bit more about my background. So, my name's Allison Smith, and I am a mom of three. And I think I have a very unique perspective because I actually was a middle school teacher for about 9 years. And now I am I guess, stay-at-home mom with my 5-month-old while my other two are in school, but not just staying at home. I am also running business and starting this podcast and working on a couple other projects that I'm sure I will share with you eventually as well. And so I've been that insanely busy going into work every single day in a very physically, mentally, emotionally draining job, whilst trying to raise two toddlers and just balance home and a husband and social life and all of the things that can start to feel so overwhelming. And so I've done that. And then I have left that career, still juggled two toddlers now at home with me when they weren't in preschool. And that was about 2 to 3 days a week while trying to get a business up off the ground. And so that was also very overwhelming. And how do I split my time between them and this new business that is consuming a lot of also time and energy? To now, the business is running, still needs to be maintained, starting all these other projects, and this 5-month-old who is very needy and only naps for about 2 hours a day is home with me all the time, and I'm still trying to manage all these things. And so when I say I'm talking to that busy mom, I am talking to every busy mom, no matter what your schedule is. And not only do I have those different unique perspectives, but I have now had the privilege of working with several moms who have the night shift schedule, nurses, police officers, truck drivers who are in the car all day long. And we find a way together to work on getting that healthy lifestyle for them, no matter what the circumstance may be. And so I have all of these experiences under my belt now, all of these perspectives and new understandings of how everybody thinks totally differently. And so that's why the title of this podcast is Realistically Consistent, because it needs to be realistic for you. And everybody's lifestyle, everybody's circumstances are totally different. And so we can't just come in here and say, oh, yeah, go walk 30 minutes a day and everything will be great. Like, that's not necessarily realistic for everybody. So I wanted to create this podcast as a space for everyone to just plug a healthy lifestyle into your life, however it makes sense for you, and be consistent with it. So again, kind of backing up because I get so excited and I end up just talking about all the things, but I do want to talk a little bit more about myself because there were a couple of really, really pivotal moments in my life that led me to being on that path of a really healthy lifestyle. And one of those was COVID. So after having my first, I was able to lose a lot of my weight by doing the strategies that had worked for me when I was in my 20s. And for me, that was tons of cardio classes, eating what I thought to be healthy, which was still a very restrictive mindset when I look back on it until COVID came around and I was still trying to shake those last like 5 to 10 pounds. I still didn't really fit into my clothes the way that I wanted to. I wasn't feeling 100% confident. And I was starting to kind of beat myself up a little bit and think, okay, what am I missing? Like, I am doing everything that I used to do. Why isn't this working anymore? Well, after becoming a mom, as a lot of you probably know, what used to work just doesn't always work anymore. And so I decided to finally take my husband's advice. He had been telling me to lift weights for a very long time, honestly, years before I tried it. And I would always say, absolutely not. I am not lifting. Oh my gosh, you want me to eat more, like try protein powder? Oh my goodness, absolutely not. Like I'm gonna get so bulky. I mean, the things that he would tell me to do, and I was so terrified to do them. I ignored him for a long time until COVID came around. And I was like, fine, we've got all this extra free time on our hands. Why not? I will try lifting some weights with you. So he made me a few workouts. We worked out together, and I was shocked at how quickly I could tell a difference in my body and honestly my mind. And so I was hooked and I let him make a few workouts for me from then on. But his style's a little bit different from what my needs were. And so I started looking into other resources. I did some more research on my own. I ended up actually doing the Peloton weight-based workouts, and those were amazing. Those coaches are so great and so knowledgeable, and a lot of my knowledge also came from them as well, because when they're going through the workouts with you, a lot of them will like walk you through, or at least they did back at the time, they'll walk you through like why we're doing certain movements and what muscle groups we're hitting and why we're doing this combination of movements and things like that. And it was really awesome. So I learned so much. And so through that, I was able to get in the best shape of my life after, again, my daughter was turning about a year old at that time, and it was awesome. And so then we ended up getting pregnant a few months later with my son. And honestly, I thought I was going to be so much more active with him, but it turned out not to be. As you know, the first trimester is just so exhausting. And after that first trimester, like falling off of working out and stuff, I just never got back on. Again, being fully realistic and transparent with you, I was not very active other than some walks and stuff that I would do while I was pregnant with him. However, after I had him and I was cleared by my doctor, I knew exactly what I needed to do to get back into shape. And so I lifted weights again, did cardio about once a week, and by about month 4 or 5, I was almost back at my pre-pregnancy weight and body, and I was feeling really great. Flash forward another couple of months, and school started back up, and I had to teach again. And I was able to do all this during nap times over the summer, and it was great. And I naively thought that I'd be able to carry that through after we went back to school, and I was so wrong. I thought I'd be able to do it after they went to bed, but I was just too exhausted. I could not make it happen. And I can still remember how terrified I was because of the low mental state that I was slipping into. And the only thing that really changed was, aside from going back to work, I had stopped working out. I stopped moving my body. And I remember talking to my husband and being like, I don't know what to do, but this isn't working anymore. I'm so short with the kids. I am so impatient. Whenever they ask me to come play, I don't want to. Like, I'm not enjoying my time with them. I'm not enjoying my time with myself. I'm not the mom I wanted to be. I'm not the wife I wanted to be. Like, I don't know what to do. And he was like, I'm here to support you in any way that you need, but like, I can't, I can't do it for you. Like, you have to figure it out. And so I remember standing there by myself, exactly where I was standing, what time of day, what day it was, and I was like, I'm gonna have to wake up early. I'm gonna have to wake up and work out before school. And I had to be there at 7 a.m. And other teachers would tell me sometimes I wake up and I work out before I come to school, and I'm like, that's crazy. Like I used to tell them to their face, you're insane. How do you do that? Like I value my sleep. I need my sleep. How do you do that? I don't understand. And it was in that moment where I was like, I'm going to have to figure out how people do this because this is my only shot. And so I set a very distinct goal for myself. And this is such a pivotal moment I came to realize years later that makes the difference in the success of a lot of women is that mindset shift and making a very powerful decision and goal. And it was, I'm giving myself until Christmas. So that was about a 2 month period of time of just trying it. You're going to make yourself get up early 2 days a week and then work out on the weekends 1 day. So I was just giving myself 3 days a week to get in like a weight-based workout. And I said, you're going to wake up early at least 2 days a week and you're going to give yourself until Christmas. And if you are hating your life, it's not working, you can figure something else out, but you have to give yourself some time to make this work. So I was giving myself the grace. I was giving myself the time. I knew it wasn't going to look perfect. I probably missed a day here or there, but I had to make this happen. And so I did. And every single time my alarm went off and I thought, oh my gosh, I do not want to get out of this bed, my mind would go back to, but you don't want to feel like that again. You don't want to feel like you're sinking into a depression again. Your kids deserve better. Get yourself out of this bed right now. And I would get up and I would go do my thing. And what happened was, because I gave it so much time, so many weeks, I was able to actually start to really love that time in the morning. It was so peaceful, it was so quiet, it was something I was doing for myself. I was tackling something hard, and it gave me so much more strength throughout my days, I came to realize. And that is what is so cool, I think, again, about a realization is it was never about the weight loss, that decision right there. That was purely for the lifestyle change of my mental health. And because of that, I think it made it so much easier to stick with because weight loss can be the number one priority a lot of times when we're starting some of these habits. But I've worked with dozens of clients now, and I will say, my clients who have some of the most success in weight loss started their journey with me not for the weight loss at all. Like at all. They're like, if it comes, great. I don't care about it. I want to start living a healthier lifestyle for me and my kids. I know I need to lift for my health. I know I need to do these things so that I can feel like my best self. And a lot of times, those are what turn into the best weight loss stories. They have the most success with weight loss because it was never about the weight loss for them. It was about creating the healthy lifestyle. And that's the very first piece of advice that I can give you on this podcast is even if you do have weight loss goals, dig really deep and figure out why. Like, what is it about that that's going to help improve your life? Because it might. Will losing that weight be able to make you be more active with your kids, want to do more things, give you more energy, have more patience, feel more confident, all of those things? Yes, absolutely. So hold on to those things, not the weight loss. Hold on to the lifestyle change that you want so that you can feel like your best self. That right there is the root at which the motivation sometimes can come from. We're going to talk all about motivation and doing things even when you're not motivated in the future as well. But that is the biggest thing that I can tell you to start with is really dig deep and figure out what your goals are and why your goals are that. So one of the final pivotal moments that I wanted to talk with you about today was deciding to walk away from teaching and beginning this journey on helping other women here. It really all kind of planted in my head that if I were to leave teaching, I want to do something in this health and wellness space. I actually taught cardio classes on the side at a local gym, changed my life in so many ways. I just realized I was so lit up by leading those classes and being surrounded with other women who had similar goals and cared about their health, and we just had so much fun together, and I loved it. It was so empowering. And not only that, from time to time I would have coworkers that would say like, I just don't know how you do it. I don't think I could ever like do this. I can't shake this baby weight. I can't figure out how to get my movement in, how to stop craving food, all of those things. And I just realized I loved talking about my own strategies and helping in any way that I could. And so that's what caused me to decide to leave my job after a few things, I think, nudges from the universe came along and said, you know what, I think your time is close, your chapter's closing here with teaching. And so I listened. I'm very grateful for those incredibly hard moments because I think through the strength that I gained by lifting and by doing something hard every single morning, I gained so much mental strength just through that. I was able to tackle those really difficult moments in my final year with what I hope to be was grace and strength and make that really hard decision to leave the classroom and pursue this passion of mine. And I was so fortunate to get hooked up with some really incredible coaches. I invested in myself even when it was terrifying, invested thousands of dollars when I was walking away from a full-time job and a pension and medical and all of those things, and still decide, you know what, I'm going to put this money in all in so that I can learn how to do this the right way. And because of those incredible coaches, because of the incredible women who trusted me with their journeys in the beginning, I was able to grow that into a business where I was able to help tons of women one-on-one. And now that I have this 5-month-old at home with me, it's not as realistic to help as many clients at the volume at which I was. And so that's what brought me here to create this podcast, to bring to you all of the knowledge that I formed from working with women. But not only that, through my certification, I did become certified as a personal trainer. That is not something that's actually required to be a personal trainer, which I think is wild, but I did become certified. I do continue to expand and research and always look for the updated findings for what is going to be best for women and honestly everybody. And not only that, I continue to look into certifications for nutrition and am certified in nutrition as well, so that I can also give that advice, because I've also learned very quickly that a fitness program alone is not going to help you reach your goals. You have got to be able to back that up with how to fuel your body. And not only that, but the mindset. So that's what evolved into all of the programs that I've created today. So even though I can't work with women in the one-on-one capacity that I had before, I am still taking on a few one-on-one clients each month. If that is something that really piques your interest, you can always apply for that on my website. I'm going to link in the show notes below. But in starting this podcast as well, I wanted to make everything that I've created over the years more accessible. So you can go on, and I have revamped my Realistically Reset. It's a 3-day reset where there are training videos on fitness and nutrition and mindset. There are workout videos. There is a sort of like guided, I don't want to say meal plan, but there is a very guided kind of nutrition plan for you to follow that is going to help make things very clear for you. Because again, I am not a registered dietitian. I cannot give specific advice or meal plans. That is the work of a dietitian. And if you want something that is very, very specific, very tailored to your body, I know some incredible dietitians that you can go see. So feel free to reach out if you would like their information. But I do have that available for you. And then I also have a 21-day challenge that is available on my website as well. So like I said, I'm going to link all of those things. There's a few free resources as well on there too. So many things that I have created that I want you to have access to so that you can get a little glimpse into how I would work with a one-on-one client and be able to see some really incredible progress on your own through those resources as well. So ultimately, it is my mission through any platform that I am creating to, like I said, just get moms out of survival mode and get moms living that healthy lifestyle in a way that is realistic for them. I don't want this to be just another health and wellness plan that a coach is giving you. I want this to be your new norm, your new lifestyle. The biggest win in my book is always when my clients come back and say, this is just who I am now. This is just what I do. No matter what's going on, if I'm on a vacation, if it's the holidays, if I was sick for a week, this is my lifestyle now. And that is what I want for as many women out there as possible so that you can have your energy back, so that you can have your confidence back and your patience and want to do all of the things with your kids and be the mom that you always dreamed about when you sat there and you daydreamed about having kids and how you're going to show up for your kids. We can't even begin to imagine what it feels like to have kids until we actually have them. So I can still remember daydreaming about what it would be like when I finally had a baby. And there were a lot of parts that were on point, but there were also a whole lot of parts that were way harder than I ever anticipated. How can we get through those moments with more grace and with more joy, honestly, because not everything needs to be taken so seriously. We get only so many years with them, and only so many years with them in our younger bodies where we can have more energy and more desire to just go do these things with them. And so I want you to be able to embrace those years and stop putting yourself on the back burner. Stop saying, oh, I'll do that when they're a little bit older. I'll do that when they're back in school, when this happens. Because the fact of the matter is, there's always going to be something else that's coming up. They're in school. Oh, but now we have to tackle sports and tackle all the other things that come with that. Or, oh, now they're in college, but now you're tackling figuring out how to be an empty nester and you're tackling all these new things. Like there's always going to be that next thing. So why put yourself off any longer when you can so realistically prioritize yourself now? And it's going to look different. In every season of life, it's going to look different. And we're going to talk about that too. And I cannot wait to continue to dive into that with you. So if this message today resonated with you, if you are excited to listen to a lot of the topics that we have coming up, I encourage you to subscribe to this podcast so you don't miss another episode and share this with a mom who would benefit from hearing this message as well. Thank you again so much for joining me today. I cannot wait to see you in the next episode where I'm going to start diving into what habits to start with to make it really simple for yourself, and then how to really stick with those in a very realistic, consistent way. I cannot wait to see you there. Have a great day. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to Realistically Consistent. If today's episode helped you, please hit subscribe and leave a quick rating as it helps more moms find the show. You can visit AllisonHaleyFitness.com for more tools, tips, and ways to stay connected. And just as a quick reminder, I'm here to share general information and encouragement, but this podcast isn't meant to replace professional medical or health advice. Everyone's circumstances are different, so be sure to check in with your trusted healthcare provider before making any big changes. Thanks again for being here, and until next time, keep showing up for yourself one realistic step at a time.